Good morning. How is everyone? Hopefully everyone is having a wonderful Tuesday. Today we're going to talk about two DeSci presales which have just initiated in the last 24 to 48 hours. We're talking about Welshare Health and we're talking about BioXYZ, both in their phase 2. I'm going to turn this lamp on. Isn't that much better? That feels so good now. Good morning, Zach. Good morning, Truth. Good morning, DeSci. Hopefully everyone is excited for today's live stream. Unfortunately, DeSci is down 4.3%. However, there is a lot of excitement and a lot of acknowledgement that has begun to circle the internet thanks to CZ, none other than CZ himself from Binance, who tweeted about decentralized science being one of the only two sectors which he is investing in currently. I think it gives us a lot of validation into what we've been talking about for the last year. Maybe even more than the last year. What's good? Good morning, Johnny. Hopefully you guys are ready for this live stream. I think that's like the third time I've said it in the last 60 seconds. We're going to jump straight into this. So let's start off covering the two things in which I put in the title of this live stream. Hopefully the camera looks good. I can see the little corner picture up there and it's a little bit blurry. But we go live every single weekday, Monday through Friday, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, to talk about decentralized science. So if this is your first time being here, know that all of this type of information is stuff we cover pretty consistently. If you've been paying attention, you've known both of these pre-sales were coming. So Biogenesis, we'll start here. Round 2 is live. Bio unlocks access to the leading on-chain science communities. Join Genesis now by getting Bio early prior to the token becoming transferable. So what is Bio? Bio connects DeSci experimental hubs using DeFi dynamics and real-world intellectual property to grow on-chain scientific communities, aka Bio DAOs. The network has 6 DAOs focusing on areas like longevity for Vita DAO and brain health for Cerebrum DAO. There are new Bio DAOs on the way. What is Biogenesis? Genesis is the community's fair launch, allowing anyone to get into Bio before the protocol goes live. Here is a lot of different people who are getting into this Genesis. So we have the Lao, we have 1KX, we have North Pond, we have Compound, we have Boost VC, which is huge. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of Boost VC, but they are a very well-known VC which backed Coinbase from the very beginning. Then we even have Sora Ventures, which is huge, and ID Theory. So here's a good showcase for you guys if you have no idea what BioXYZ or Bio Protocol is. I liken it to a massive index fund for the different Bio DAOs in which they have ownership over. So I'm talking Cerebrum, I'm talking Cryo, Vita, Valley DAO, Athena DAO, Hair DAO, and then even Psi DAO, and they have several new DAOs which they're talking about creating here in the not too distant future. However, nothing's been solidified yet. I have seen some pretty exciting figures who are talking with the Bio Protocol team. Figures from traditional scientific realm who are sick and tired of what's going on there and who are trying to segue into the bio realm, the decentralized science realm through Bio Protocol. But basically, science DAOs apply to become part of Bio Protocol. Some of them will get through A, B, and C, and you will become one of the DAOs which I mentioned just a few seconds ago. And from there, you go on to fund different scientific research for different therapies that are close to becoming a reality, but just ran out of funding at the finish line. And so we give them the little bit of funding they need to get over that hump in order to actually create something of value. And one of the examples I can use is on Catalyst. So if you come look, a lot of researchers so far, we've got 4 ongoing fundraisers on Catalyst. This is research which is showing a lot of promise and a lot of potential to turn into something that could become a biotech company, and yet they just need a little bit more funding. And so they come here and the Bio Protocols can come invest into them here, give them the funding in exchange for tokens which represent the intellectual property or the results of the funding. Hopefully I'm not confusing you guys too much. but the Biogenesis auction is currently live. Phase 2, so far they've raised $589,000 in this phase 2. The auction limit is $13 million, and they have 44 days left of this raise. So basically what you do is you take one of the tokens, which are part of the Bio protocol, including Research Hub, which is not part of the Bio protocol, but is going to be part of this index fund. And you can exchange them for Bio tokens. And what you get is half Bio tokens and half vested Bio tokens. None of them are transferable yet. However, when they finish all 4 rounds of the pre-sale, all 4 rounds, this is round 2, when they're done with all 4, which should be by the end of the year, then the Bio token becomes transferable and the vesting begins for those vested Bio tokens. So hopefully it all goes well. I think the market cap is going to be disgustingly high for it, as they're trying to raise millions of dollars. I think they raised like $5.5 million last round, if I'm not mistaken. And so this round they're going for 13 million. It doesn't have to get all the way there though. We do not have to hit the limit. Whatever they raise is whatever they raise, and that will set the market cap based off the amount of tokens that they sell, right? So it's just a little bit of interest. I have partaken in the first round. I might partake in this one, but I have no plans on it as of now because I sold most of my tokens for the Bio tokens in the first round. Now, the other one, which most of you guys are probably here for, is Welshare Health. How many of you guys, I want to see it right now in the comments, how many of you guys have gotten into Welshare Health already? Because it went live this morning about an hour ago, and so far I've heard it's gone very well. You can see they've got 120 likes, 94 reposts, 3 comments, and 1,800 views. So a large portion of the people who are viewing this are liking and reposting. But unfortunately, US participants can't get into this, so I won't be able to partake in the Welshare Health presale, but I know a lot of people are very excited about it, and we'll talk about the tokenomics, and we'll talk about how much they're trying to raise and everything in a second. I just want to see if there's any of you guys who got into it. No Bio for me, been traveling. Understandable, truth, understandable. Zach says no, USA, SMH. Sad, sad, sad. I am expecting to get in after they TGE. It's going to be very interesting because if you come look at the white paper for Welshare Health, they actually showcase everything you need to know about it. So a lot of questions from people in the Telegram. Hopefully you guys are here to watch this because I'm trying to give you guys as much information as possible. Don says he got in because he's from Canada. Whoop-de-doo, Don. Congrats. No, I'm actually happy for you, Don. I'm happy for you. Because you're getting in at half of a penny on this presale. So the valuation for this, the valuation is at 10 million, and they're selling tokens to you at a 1 million valuation for circulating supply. So the fully diluted is 10 million, and they're selling to you at a 1 million circulating supply valuation. There are 2.5 billion Welshare Health tokens, and they're selling 10% in the public pre-sales. They said there will be 3 phases. My throat. Thank you for bearing with me. There will be 3 phases. Phase 1 has already completed at 0.004 cents. And phase 2 at 0.005. 20% will be unlocked at TGE, then a 1-month cliff, and then 6-month linear vesting. Okay? So 20% of the 10%, aka 2%. Right? No. Is that 2%? Well, 10% would be 1%, so 20% is got to be 2%. Yes. 2% of the tokens from the presale will be in circulation at TGE, none from the founders, none from the advisors, and 10% from the private presale of 4% of the supply, so 0.4. So 2.4% of supply will be in circulation at TGE day. We don't know when that is yet, but that's what it's going to be. We'll also have 10% for a liquidity pool. We'll have 10% for marketing and centralized exchange listings, and 10% for growth marketing. So that is 30% available at a moment's notice. The rest of it is going to be locked up for periods of time. So they got 10% treasury, 5% advisors, 10% team, 10% founders, 10% community contributors, 11% for users and rewards. Not bad at all. What's this? So 10, I'm trying to look at what is for the public, right? So we got 10 in treasury, 5 advisors, 10 in team. So that's 25. And then we got 10 founders, 35. 35% to the insiders, and then 30% to the community through either marketing or sex listings, and 21% for user rewards. Not bad allocations at all. Not bad in the slightest. So it'll be exciting to watch what happens from this. A lot of people saying Welshare Health to $1. We'll see. If it is going to get to $1, it would have to be before all these tokens get into circulation, because if you don't know what Welshare Health is doing, they're creating an economy through applications and through obviously crypto and community building and everything for diabetes. And so they're trying to take the diabetes community and raise funds and raise awareness and help them kind of biohack themselves, if you will. And when I was talking to Jock, one of the co-founders, he was explaining that a few years ago, the diabetes community found an upgrade to a lot of those trackers that they have to monitor their blood glucose. And the company that made the trackers would not update them and incorporate this new cool feature that they had unlocked. And so what they did is they jailbroke their, I forget what it's called, but their glucose monitors. They jailbroke them and made it so that they updated on their own. And so it showcased, to me at least, that the community in diabetes was already willing to kind of self-experiment and take that initiative and do something the community wants, despite traditional funders and traditional backers not doing it. So it seems like the diabetes community would be interested in something like this that is community driven. Now, I also found today, and I'm going to see if I can, I'll be able to pull it up, but I found today that someone reported China was able to cure type 1 diabetes with stem cells. Within 75 days, the patients had normal glucose levels and had maintained that for a year. So very, very interesting to see something like this break out, news like this come out at the same time that the diabetes DeSci play was launching. So very interesting. Yes, Don for the win. W Don. We only have 3 likes, but we have 9 concurrent viewers. So if you guys appreciate this type of content and want to encourage this investor to continue making this type of content, I would greatly appreciate a thumbs up on the video. Again, we go live Monday through Friday, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, to talk about decentralized science, an industry which has begun to take off. We're seeing people like Maddie, 16,000 followers, nothing too crazy, but he, who is fairly well connected, you can see there's 49 people who I follow who are following this person. So a large figure in the space talking about decentralized science, recognizing DeSci. And there's a lot of other people who are starting to acknowledge decentralized science because of the tweet that CZ had posted saying that he was investing in AI and he was investing in biotech. Look at this, another person, not many followers, but is in fact followed in the industry, and talking about decentralized science, talking about data lake. I should have like quote tweeted or like saved a bunch of different posts from individuals I saw talking about decentralized science, but there are a lot of people who are waking up to the movement, and I think it's only a matter of time before we see some big activity in the space on chain. Some big on-chain activity. What had Mandy bought? Mandy didn't buy either of them, sadly. She is a heavy investor in Data Lake, and she's got a bag in Noble. But I don't know that she's going to get in anything else because I have all of my money in DeSci, and so it doesn't really make sense for her to get into it, because then it's just like all of the money goes into decentralized science. So those are the two big ones. Another pre-sale, which we talked about, I believe, on Friday, which closed yesterday, but it doesn't look like it actually closed, is the Biohacker DAO. Nobody's talking about it. There's not much recognition. I put a little bit of money into it because I think it's a novel idea and it's small enough, only raising $80,000, that I think it's got potential to go crazy once TGE happens, because not a lot of people are paying attention at the funding round. If you remember why Axon was such a good play, it was because nobody paid any attention when they were initially raising their funds. So it got everyone to be into Axon at $140,000 market cap. That's nutty. $140,000 market cap. Circulating, of course, it was 1.4 million fully diluted, and then it was able to run like a madman up to $1 billion fully diluted because of just the way it worked out, where they were backed by Nvidia. And so Axon, you got to get in at a small market cap because no one knew about it. So I was gambling on another one that nobody was talking about, nobody knew about it, and so it was $80,000 funded, which comes out to, again, the 10%, so $800,000 fully diluted, so even smaller than what Axon was. But Axon just got invited back to another NVIDIA AI Summit. So October 7th through 9th, NVIDIA is hosting an AI Summit, and Axon is getting to go and talk again, which is very exciting. This is the second one. I got to go the first time, but I'm not going to this one in Washington. Did you say that you diversified your portfolio by dating her? Truth, that's not what I said. That's not what I said at all. Diddy DeSci play upcoming. Lube DAO. Mods, get Zach out of here. Out of here, Zach. I don't care if you were the first GM. Mods, gone. No Diddy references. It's inappropriate. Let's see. What else is there? What else? The other thing I wanted to bring up is Athena DAO, which is hosting their month-long pop-up event in San Francisco. Starting today, all month in October, there are events happening for Athena DAO. So very potential, that was good. Very much the potential that individuals who attend these pop-up events there is the potential that individuals who attend these pop-up events learn and get passionate about Athena DAO, and over the course of this month, potentially Athena DAO has a nice little breakout. If you look, the pattern has emerged that we like to pay attention to, or at least that we've noticed recently, in which the DeSci plays are breaking out of this dramatic downtrend on a log chart, though, not on the linear chart. So it has yet to actually break out on the log chart. So could be good opportunity to watch for a play, given that they have a month-long event of onboarding individuals, very similar to the Rejuve play that I entered into a couple days ago, which is having its first pullback since entering into the trade. Again, remember this. It is a clear little breakout. Downtrend, breakout, test, spike up to the 100-day moving average, or the 200-day moving average. So we're having a pullback before we get there. I'm hoping it continues onwards and upwards, but we will see. But it's the same as Axon and Data Lake and all the fun DeSci projects, which are having a drastic pullback today, which I'm not super happy about, but it is what it is, right? If we come look, this is not the real Genomes DAO. This is a fake Genomes DAO. This is the old one, so don't be trading that one. 1.7K in trading volume. Valley DAO, which is always in the top gainer or loser because it just spikes up and down and up and down and up and down. Hair DAO up 7.5%, which is pretty solid. AIMX up 6%, Cryo up 6%, Preprints up 5%. And then for the major losers, we got Axon down 8%, Noble down 8%, CTI down 7%, Data Lake down 7%, kind of painful. The VitaFast, I don't know that I pulled it up, but remember yesterday we were talking about how VitaFast was pumping for apparently no apparent reason? Well, Vita decided to post again about it today. kind of showcasing some of the potential excitement for it. And so I feel like there's more brewing behind the scenes with VitaFast. And VitaFast being one of the first IPNFTs to actually become circulating, one of the first biotech companies that spawned from one of these bio DAOs. So VitaFast and Vita RNA are two that are worth paying a lot of attention to. I feel like my throat is getting scratchy from all the talking already. Lots going on in the industry, lots of excitement, 2 new presales. We're still waiting on the Poseidon DAO presale, and of course always have these presales ongoing, which is like pump.fun for DeSci, except we even have a pump.fun for DeSci called pump.science. Yeah, it's pump.science on Sol. No live ones, 2 completed. Mark cap of 7,000, mark cap of 9,000. So completely degen. Completely degen. Look at that. Interesting. I've not partaken in either of these. However, I have partaken in a couple of the molecule catalyst ones. All right, do you guys have questions? You guys are watching, but you're all very quiet right now. What's going on? What's happening? Are you guys making fun of me in a private chat off scenes? What's going on? Talk to me, guys. Talk to me. What should we be looking at in DeSci, or do you want me just to go on and start doing some analysis of the different projects and plays that we're watching? I got my microcap watch list. Everything is down. Everything is down. I guess we could go into why everything looks like it's starting to tank today. That really has to do with the protests that are going on. You guys are familiar with the protests, right? Oh, we had job openings today. So job openings came in a little bit hotter. Interesting. It's kind of good though. This is kind of good. This shows that people are still hiring. But unemployment is rising while job openings are also starting to go up. An interesting dynamic. Not unheard of in the slightest. This is what I think is causing the market to kind of take a nosedive right now. If you look, there's a massive port strike going on, and I actually had not listened to it yet, but I did save this guy talking. End wokeness. It's 1 minute and 30 seconds of him talking. He is the head of the ILA, which is very involved in the strikes. I forget what I was listening to it earlier either. I believe ILA is the organization striking, but let me see. Yeah. ILA, International Longshoremen's Association. So this is the organization which is currently striking because they want higher pay. And so I want to hear what he has to say because it's going to give us insight. Now, this contract, everyone has known that this contract was expiring today for the last 6 years when they initially made the contract. And so they had plenty of time to come and negotiate and come to equal terms, but nobody did. And so now they're not working, which has got everyone fearful that inflation is about to spike up like crazy. Just found out about the Iran news. Oh God. And then pulled up Bitcoin to try and see if there are any short plays to be made. Bitcoin news or Iran news is not something I wanted to see. What happened over in Iran? I did not see this. Iranian is trending. Oh my God. I hate it. I hate it. I want to listen to this though.
People today don't know what a strike is.
Right.
These people today don't know what a strike is.
Right.
When my men hit the streets, from Maine to Texas, every single port will lock down. You know what's gonna happen? I'll tell you. First week, be all over the news every night, boom, boom. Second week, guys who sell cars can't sell cars because the cars ain't coming in off the ships. They get laid off. Third week, malls start closing down. They can't get the goods from China. They can't sell clothes. They can't do this. Everything in the United States comes on a ship. They go out of business. Construction workers get laid off because the materials aren't coming in. The steel's not coming in. The lumber's not coming in. They lose their job. Everybody's hating the longshoremen now because now they realize how important our jobs are. Now I have the president screaming at me, I'm putting a Taft-Hartley on you. Go ahead. Taft-Hartley means I have to go back to work for 90 days. That's a cooling off period. Do you think when I go back for 90 days, those men are gonna go to work on that pier? It's gonna cost the companies money to pay their salaries. Well, they went from 30 moves an hour maybe to 8. They're gonna be like this. Who's gonna win here in the long run? You're better off sitting down and let's get a contract and let's move on with this world. And in today's world, I'll cripple you. I will cripple you, and you have no idea what that means. Nobody does.
Wow. So he's clearly not messing around. He is clearly not messing around at all. So that is why I viewed this move in Bitcoin and the broader market happening. We're having a sell-off, which is not ideal at all. It came right after we held support above the 200-day moving average, and then this has just caused it to slice straight back through. DeSci says, I got it. I live in Norway. Let's go. Junior Soprano. Zach, that's facts. That's honestly facts. Oh my God. Let's look at everything though. We got the S&P 500 coming down a little bit today. We got the NASDAQ coming down quite a bit today. Yeah, down 1.5%, was down 2 intraday. We got the Dow Jones, which in my opinion should be down a lot more than this. Not just because it's the furthest above its all-time highs, but because the Dow Jones has a lot to do with consumer staples and stuff. And so it sounds like the port strikes would have a bigger impact on the Dow Jones than necessarily the NASDAQ. Because while the NASDAQ has a lot to do with technology, the ports on the East Coast have less to do with technology than the ports on the West Coast. We get a lot of the chips from Taiwan and stuff. The West Coast is okay. It's the East Coast which isn't doing great. What is, I think, probably driving this one down more so is that it's viewed as the more speculative index than the Dow Jones or the S&P 500. But on top of that, we have, I mean, he just said people will start losing their jobs. It's the people wouldn't be able to get anything from the supermarkets. Literally yesterday, we went to go stock up on some non-perishables just in case this actually gets pretty bad. And people are going to start doing that more and more and more as it actually starts to get bad if they don't come to an agreement here in the next like 2 weeks or so, which would cause what? Inflation to spike back up. Inflation spikes back up, then the Fed can't continue to cut rates like they planned on doing, which means that we see more of a tighter for longer, higher for longer play, right? So then tech starts to suffer more and more. Although honestly, it's been a while of these high interest rates and the tech industry seems to not really care. It seems like the strong are continuing to survive and the weak are continuing to kind of crumble underneath this higher debt load. It's just fearful, in my opinion, that if we have interest rates for too high longer than this, honestly, the debt from the United States is rolled over. A lot of the debt that the US holds is now being taken out again, renewed at higher interest rates. Our debt payment is above anything else. Our debt payment now is more expensive than the entire military budget, which is nuts. And that can't stay like that forever, otherwise we just go bankrupt. as a country. People are moving around out there. I have a feeling that it's going to be loud in a little bit, so not ideal. Not ideal at all, the loudness. The economy is going to do what the economy is going to do, but that, in my opinion, is why we're starting to see a decent pullback. Plus, I mean, the war, yeah, but I feel like everyone's kind of used to the war at this point, sadly. A strike really shouldn't impact most of crypto directly. So it's not that the strike, that's a really good point, Truth, really good point. It's not that the strikes would impact crypto directly. It's that the strikes impact the economy. When the economy starts to hurt, people go risk off. People want to shield themselves in stuff that is more stable or more suitable. So the economy suffering means people flee to the safer investments. And crypto is not a safe investment. Tech is not usually seen as a safe investment, although I would argue it is. And so people take their money out of the risky plays, especially where a lot of crypto just had a nice relief rally. A lot of people just saw some pretty decent gains here, even though all these are just little tiny babies. They're all little tiny trades. They're not even crazy. Nothing really took off like a madman. Just a couple meme coins did. People are rotating. It's the rotation plays. It is interesting, though, to see China's index, the GXC. China's index is starting to take off now, which is funny because February 2021 we peaked. Now that China has turned on the money printers, which is what was sparking a lot of the bull run, it's still taking off like crazy. Not to be confused with the reality that we're still down 46% from the all-time highs. That's crazy for an index. The S&P 500 of China basically down 61% over the span of like 3 years. And now it's rebounding up 42% because they turned the money printers back on. We'll see. It's all just up in the air. There's so many factors that are constantly up in the air. The best thing you can do, in my opinion, is find some projects that you think have a glorious future over the next 12 to 36 months. Okay? 1 to 3 years. Find some projects that have a really good potential and buy them and hold on to them on spot purchases. That's what I do with the bulk of my portfolio. That's what I found to be the most successful in all of my investing journey is, generally speaking, I mean, I'm even an indicator here because generally I like 3 to 5 years for my investment horizon. And when I was buying a lot of the projects last year and the year before that, when the bear market was in full velocity, that's what I was looking for. Now I'm looking for the next like 12 months. Most of it is the next 12 months. And that, I think, is a lot of what people are doing out there in the economy, are they're shortening their time horizons. That is indicative of the yield curve, but I don't want to get crazy down that rabbit hole because I do it almost every single live stream we start talking about that. Ultimately, the economy looks scary. Ultimately, I think the 4-year cycle will play out still. Regardless as to what happens, I have a conviction in me that we'll still see the same 4-year cycle. But doesn't change the scary world. I'm drinking out of a water bottle right now, despite not liking water bottles, despite these not holding a lot of water, despite the forever chemicals or the PFAs, despite all these other things. I'm drinking out of a water bottle. Why? Because there's a chemical plant that exploded a couple miles down the street. It's more than a couple miles, like a few towns over, but a chemical plant literally exploded. I'm in the United States. There's chlorine in the air, and I'm concerned that there's chlorine in the water. And so I am now drinking out of water bottles. The world is scary as shit, and I kind of want to go live in the mountains in Utah and pretend that none of this is happening. Just go trade some crypto, like the weatherman, like the crypto weatherman. Shout out TJ. Yeah, this is basically all I had for you guys today, though. We got a few pre-sales going. The Poseidon. Oh, no. Hold on. There was one more thing I wanted to show you guys, but I have to scroll up in the Telegram. Okay, right here, an update for Noble Blocks. So this is from Aaron. Aaron's been talking with Delroy, and he said, so here's what I've gathered from my talk with Delroy. There will be multiple features released in October for the main Noble Blocks platform, and he has some secret fun science game as well that he got cooking. So that's the update for Noble. Noble Blocks went on a little bit of a rally, which was fun to partake in, and it's having a decent pullback right now, and it's fine. This is not worrisome to me in the slightest, this little pullback. I think this was the bottom back here. I think this was the first higher low, and I think this is creating the second higher low, breaking out above this channel, above this resistance band. We broke out above it. I think we're coming down to test it, and then we'll continue the uptrend for October. I have not lost faith in October despite the scaries happening out there. We need to get out of big cities for sure. Facts. Honestly. A strike really shouldn't impact most crypto. I already read that. Yeah. You guys be safe out there. I'm going to go have breakfast because I'm starving and I have a lot of work to get caught up on today. I'm going to make as much content as I can because there's a lot of cool things happening in DeSci. And so, with that being said, time is your most valuable asset. Hopefully this was worth investing it into. I appreciate you guys being here, and I will see you guys in tomorrow's live stream. Same time, same place.